Alright, I'm back with another part of the British Empire series, and the Empire is at peace. For now. We don't know how long this peace is going to last, so we're going to have to take advantage. The British Foreign Legion is going to have to build up his army and prepare for the next war, because if we take a look at the map, you can see we have enemies on every side. We have the Germans, we still have the French. No matter how many times I've battered them, how many lords I've executed, the French just won't give up. They seem to always be there. And then we also have the Spanish. I don't think we're going to go to war with anyone else unless, you know, we end up going to war with the Scandinavian countries. That'll be a bit of a weird war because we'll just be sailing across to each other. But other than that, I don't really think there's anyone else in a position to fight us. So we finished off last time by conquering this town. This may be one small step for the British Empire, but it is one giant leap for the British Foreign Legion. It now means I don't have to keep crossing over into Britain to sell my goods, to stock up on troops or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to build our army. I'm probably just going to recruit from all these villages. Like I mentioned, we don't have to keep running into Britain. And if we take a look at our party size, we're going to build the troop count up to 132. I'm not going to stop at 90 so we can keep sailing around. We're going to stock up finally with a full army. I think the goal is to have 100 rifles. Once I reach 100 riflemen, the remainder of the army I will turn into grenadiers. That way we have a nice little mix. We can form a firing line of 100 rifles to hold back our enemies. And once the enemy reach our front lines, if they reach our front lines, we will have 30 grenadiers waiting to unleash hell on them. So we better get recruiting, ready for our next war. I have assembled the men and rebuilt the British Foreign Legion. If we take a look at our party now, you can see we've hit our max troop count, so we're ready for war. Although that being said, with all the recruiting I've done, we've recruited a lot of French troops. Maybe it's time to rebrand once again. Maybe I should become the French Foreign Legion. Ah, who am I kidding? After everything we've done to the French, we can't name ourselves after them. But now I'm afraid we're back to the waiting game. We're just going to have to see what happens. Like I said, we could end up in a war with anyone. I don't think we're going to be declaring war anytime soon. All the lords are probably going to attempt to recover their armies after all the losses we've suffered. So if anything, the Spanish may declare war on us, or the Germans may declare war on us again. But like I said, we're just going to have to wait now. Well, it's not quite a war, but we have stumbled upon a party of 40 looters. I expect nothing else from French territory, to be honest with you. There's probably bandits all over the place. This should be a good experience for the troops. All of the fresh recruits that we have, we can start leveling them up. Muskets at the ready, men. I want these looters dispatched in a single volley. There's 130 of you with rifles, pretty much. I mean, okay, there's 126. I'll give you some credit, not quite 130. But there's only 40 enemies. So, I mean, we outnumber them 3-1. Surely we have enough rifles to take down the enemy. If I lose a single man, I'm going to be disappointed, I won't lie. Why have I leveled up my medicine? Who's getting shot then? Oh, come on, get back in line, soldier. Get the musket ready and fire, damn it! Fire! Oh man, these French troops. It is hard to get good soldiers these days. You got the British Rangers up front showing them how it's done. And you got the French in the background slacking. Just gonna throw a grenade up and over. Yeah, boom. And well, we may have overthrew there a little bit. You know what, men? We may not have taken out the looters in a single volley as I had hoped, but not one of you fell in battle. So you didn't quite disappoint me. Nearly there, I won't lie. I was on the verge of being disappointed, but the fact that none of you fell in battle, I'll give you some credit. Well, we find ourselves still at peace. This is quite a rare thing for the British Empire. Normally someone wants us dead or we want someone dead. So what I'm going to do, since we have all this downtime and not a lot is really happening, I'm going to start smithing. If we can level up our smithing skill, we can start making weapons, we can earn a ton of gold, and with all that gold, we can start expanding the British Foreign Legion. If we take a look at our clan, we can have 6 companions, we can have 3 parties. It's what we're going to have to do. We can't run around on our own forever. We're going to need people to serve underneath us. So we better get smithing and we better make a lot of gold. Well, I'm afraid we're going to have to put the smithing on hold for now. But if we enter the smithy quickly, you can see that we've reached level 54. So the grind is slowly getting there. It's not bad. We're not quite high enough to be earning money yet, but I am fulfilling every order that I can. Right now, I can't take a look at the orders because there aren't any available, but I noticed the highest order has been about 80,000 gold. So if we can get our smithy level high enough to start crafting those weapons, we are going to be rich. But the reason I have had to put the smithing on hold is because we are once again going to war. But this time it is against the Spaniards. That's right. We want to conquer the remaining areas of France, and we can't do that without taking down the Spanish. Hold on a minute. Really, lads? Really? You just put out the vote for fun? You don't actually want to go to war with the Spanish? I have 250 influence. I wonder if we can convince everyone else to go to war. Nope. Not even I can convince them with 150. Well, I guess smithing is back on the menu, boys, because we aren't going to war today. What a tease, eh? Well, it is once again time to stop smithing. If we take a look at the smithy, we're now level 78. We're still slowly getting there. We're not making as much money as I had hoped. We're kind of like evening out there around about the 30,000 gold mark. But as you can see, this is what I was referring to earlier. An order to make a two-handed sword for 85,000 gold. If we can pull off an order like that, we will be rich. But until then, we're going to have to keep grinding. But while we grind in the background, I think it's time we go to war. We've sat around for too long. We've been idling for ages. And you know what? It's just getting a little boring. We need a bit of action. And I've noticed there's a 91% support for going to war with the Spanish. I know they're paying us 650 a day, but to be honest with you, I would rather have their land than have them pay us. So I am going to propose we go to war. It is about time we assemble the men and bring an end to the Spanish rule. They have taken half of France from us. If we declare war and go back to the map, you can see what I'm talking about. Just what the Germans did to us, we are going to have to do to the Spanish. We are going to have to summon the bannermen. We are going to have to assemble the biggest army that we can. And we must push the Spanish out of France. France is now ours. They own near enough the entire south, which could be a bit of a problem. I mean, they have expanded quite a lot in all fairness to the Spanish. But if we take a look, who can we assemble? You know what? Since we're the first army to assemble anyone, we actually have quite a decent choice. So while we're waiting for the other leaders to arrive, I think we're going to march on this castle. If we take this castle and this one, we can push them south of the river, and then we can hold this bridge as sort of like a choke point. They do own the land to the right though, so we need to watch out for any flanks that may come across. We also need to watch out for any that may try sailing down this river, because if they come down the river, they might try and take our town. But that will be the strategy for now. We're going to march south and take these 2 castles. And if we're lucky, we might be able to finish off with Bordeaux, but we'll have to see. We're not making the same mistake as last time. So I've just spent over 5,000 gold on fish. We're going to make sure we have enough food to feed the army for quite a while. I believe at the moment the Spanish are at war with the French. As you can see, they just captured someone. But dare I say it, are we actually working with the French in this war? That's our first one for us, lads. I mean, with the amount that we've killed, I'm surprised we're now working together to take down a common enemy. There is a Spanish army raiding this village. I got a feeling we're going to be too slow to stop them though, but if we can, that will be great. We need to take down as many Spaniards as we can in this war. Well, they didn't even attempt to flee. Either they've got balls of steel or their scouts are terrible and didn't see 1,000 Brits crossing a bridge. Well, as I am a complete moron, I accidentally stopped my recording, so you missed this entire battle. I am sorry, but just a quick update, we basically obliterated the Spanish. Our firing line proved to be too much for them, and we killed near enough all of them. They did manage to throw a handful of grenades and took down 30 of our soldiers, but that's about all they managed to achieve. We will now continue our march south towards the castle. There are only 250 defenders in this castle, and the bulk of it is militia rather than garrison, but we do need to keep casualties at a minimum. I know we have over 1,000 soldiers, but if we want to keep sieging like castle after castle, we need to keep the army at full strength for as long as possible. I won't do what we did to the French and besiege this castle for like a month. We are just going to make some siege equipment and destroy their defenses, and then we'll probably attack. One thing we will have to take into account is the army cohesion. Because of the size of the army, it is going to start rapidly falling, and we're going to have to spend a lot of influence to keep the army going. We do have a nice buffer built up of 360. We do gain some a day, and we will gain some for every successful battle we pull off. I'm hoping it lasts long enough that we can at least take this castle and the other castle to the left, and if possible, we can finish off with Bordeaux. That would be the best outcome, if not at least the 2 castles. I mean, worst case, we only take this one, but I feel like it'd be a bit of a waste of the army if we only leave the battle with 1 castle. And it is time to lead the assault. We have smashed down their walls. We haven't starved them like I said we won't. But now that we have smashed down the walls, they should huddle into 2 nice groups. And a well-placed grenade should bring an end to Spanish rule. There are a few enemy soldiers up on the walls. I've never seen a castle with this layout before. I don't know if this is entirely new to me, to be honest with you. It almost looks like it's split into 2 separate castles. I'm not entirely sure. But I will tell the ranged troops to move a little bit closer, lads. Like I said, there's only a handful of them up on the walls, but if we can take them down from distance, it saves us charging in and getting shot at. If I get a clear run to where the enemy are hiding behind the wall, it gives me an opportunity to throw the grenades. But if I charge now, I'm probably going to take a musket shot to the head, and that'll put an end to my plan. That's it, men. Shimmy forward. Come on, into position. We need to get close and... Oh, what? What? The whole point of me standing back there was so I could hide and then I could throw grenades at the enemy. And then they pull off some bullshit like that? Really? Some random militia behind enemy lines managed to hit me from there? Damn you, Spaniards! Damn you! As you can see, the castle is kind of split into chunks. If I was the enemy, I would have pulled back to there and just held at the very back. But I don't know if you actually can or whether it's purely just for looks. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to charge through this gap here and just throw a grenade at the enemy because they're just standing there ready to be blown up. And oh god, instead they've thrown grenades at us. This is exactly what I wanted to avoid. A completely red kill feed. Oh man, you've got to be kidding me, lads. The numbers here aren't quite adding up. We killed 366 enemies. There were only 200 odd enemies to begin with. And the enemies only killed 200, and yet we lost nearly 400 in total. Are you telling me we just friendly fired half our army? Is that what the red kill feed was? Did we throw grenades at our own men? Oh no. This is exactly what I wanted to avoid, because that's 200 soldiers we just didn't need to lose. It is now time to vote for the new owner, and it is going to the British Foreign Legion. We once again have land. I don't know how long we're going to manage to keep it for. If it's going to be a repeat of last time, we held it for about a month at best. This does mean now, though, we are all that stands between us and the Spanish. If our castle falls, the Spanish has free reign to go north and take our remaining territories. We are literally on the border. I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing. I'm not entirely sure. It does mean we're definitely going to be targeted by the enemy. But not only that, due to the amount of soldiers that we lost in that battle and the fact that some of the lords like to put a garrison in the castle, the army has dropped down to 750 soldiers. We had nearly 1,200. It's not a good start, especially considering all we've managed to achieve is a single castle. What I will do though, I will hit up these villages so they can recruit some more troops if possible. We're also going to go north because I need to sell all of the battle loot because we are running low on gold. And then we will march on this castle over here, assuming the Spanish haven't assembled an army of their own and attempt to retake this castle. Well, I was hoping we were going to get more gold than we did, but to be honest with you, that should last us a little while. And now that we have the income of the castle on top of that, we should be a little bit more comfortable. Once we hit up all the villages as well, the generals recruited an extra 50 soldiers. They will be militia, so I don't know how helpful they're going to be. But I mean, an extra 50 soldiers, militia or not, surely is of use to us. We're now going to march on this castle. We have arrived at the second Spanish castle. The garrison is pretty much the same size as the previous one, so I think we're just going to go with the exact same tactic. I'm going to trebuchet their defenses and smash down their walls, and hopefully we don't get shot in the head this time very early into the battle. Alright, soldiers, we are once again tasked with bringing a castle into the hands of the British Empire. Hopefully, like I said, I don't get shot in the head again. That would be kind of unfortunate. I'm going to tell the soldiers to move a little bit closer, though. We don't want to be that... Oh, God, I've been shot. Alright, panic. Panic, Serpentine. Do something. I don't know, hide behind this guy, maybe. Alright, you are my shield, my friend. You are my shield. Maybe I can hide behind the men until I can get to that wooden barrier. I can't afford to fall in battle again, because if I fall the men will all out charge and we'll end up blowing each other up again. And well, you saw what happened last time. The results were devastating. So instead, I'm going to hide behind this barricade where I'm nice and safe. I'm going to take the odd shot at the enemy and hopefully we can kill them all without suffering many casualties. Am I right, men? Or am I wrong? I will tell the soldiers to get a little bit closer again. Because we have so many, I mean, if I take a look, we have 400 rifles in the army right now. We formed too many lines. We have like an army of about 10 rows. So if I just tell them to shimmy a bit forward, the ones at the back will start firing. And hopefully we can take down the enemy quicker. And the man to my left just got shot. Are the enemy purposely targeting me? My barricade is half destroyed already. I'm starting to think the enemy know exactly who I am and they're just trying to kill me. They must know I'm the leader of this army. I am the main aggressor. Oh god. The ones around me are the ones that are dying. No one all the way over there or anything. It's the ones right in front. Alright, soldiers. How are we looking? Oh. Really? Really? I apparently clipped his shoulder trying to shoot this guy in the opening over here. Right, I think we might be safe to move a little bit closer towards the enemy. If my teammates keep providing cover fire, I can get close enough to either A, drag the enemy outside, or B, blow them up with a grenade. Either way, it should be... Oh, I've dragged them outside. Lads, oh, he just threw a grenade right at me. Oh, God. Well, that did not go to plan once again. Watch that kill feed turn red, and there we go. We have blown ourselves up once again. And once more, we have nearly lost double what the enemy supposedly killed. Why does this keep happening to us? Who invented the grenade? Why would you invent such a destructive weapon? It is time to once again vote for the new owner of the castle. Hopefully it goes to us because it's right next to our other castle. So I got a feeling like they might start awarding like southern France to us. So we can start building up like our own stronghold. But that being said, it wouldn't be the first time they give it to someone completely random. And they've given it to someone random. Fair enough. I'm not surprised, I suppose. Does he have land of his own or does he have nothing? I'm assuming his clan has nothing. Okay, they're a very poor clan with a strength of 50. So they're not going to be defending that castle for long. It's a bit of a waste giving it to him, I won't lie. But heyo, I suppose you gotta share the wealth amongst everyone. So now that we have taken both castles, we've now put a garrison in both as well. The army is down to 550 soldiers. I'm starting to think we should probably release some of the lords so they can go back and build armies of their own. Like this guy only has 10 soldiers, so I don't know of what like value he's going to be to us. If we take a look, there might be people we can swap them out with. So maybe we drop the ones with like 10 or 30 soldiers and call in these ones that have 80 and 70. Or maybe we disband the army and do something else. I'm not entirely sure what the strategy should be. I did say I wanted to take this town, but to be honest with you, looking at the position of the Spanish, I don't know what would be best. Would it be best to take this castle here and form like a line across the middle of France? And then that way we could then march on this town to the south and slowly make our way further and further south, pushing the Spanish out. I mean, the Spanish have gone as far as into Italy. I mean, they're pretty much conquering a lot of the world right now. They're in the south of Italy. I mean, they're doing pretty well for themselves, I won't lie. They haven't managed to take Portugal, though. In all fairness to Portugal, even though it's pretty small, they've held out pretty well. So what do you think the strategy should be next? Where should we march? Do I swap out the army? Do I abandon the army? I'm not entirely sure. If we take a look at the Kingdom Diplomacy tab, they are still at war with the French. Casualties haven't really been that high, but we have managed to pull off 2 successful sieges. And if we were to end the war right now, which is something like no one wants to do, we would only be getting 200 gold a day. But that is going to be it for this part of the series. And as always, a big thank you to the Gwaggles members for your continued support. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, see ya.